one of the places that I really like to go for lunch or just to shop if I want to get some Italian ingredients is the Piccolo'S Italian Deli and Market. It's hidden away in the Gulf Gate area. If you go to our blog on the best places to eat in Sarasota, you'll find a link to MapQuest, which will give you directions how to get there from your home, you know. But it's in as you drive into the gateway, shopping center is on your right. It's the first strip of mall stores on the right up by the front, you know. But if you keep your eyes open to spot it. If not, you're just going to maybe go back and forth and maybe get a little MapQuest directions how to get there. But you should hit it pretty easily. And if you go to our blog there, you can get the MapQuest directions, or you can get their phone number or whatever you need. They have a web page. They're very advanced, you know. They're two people who came from Italy, Antonio and Josephine Durende, and they're friendly. They're just, when you walk in there, you want to do business with them, you know. There's really two kinds of business you can do. Is one, you can have a hero, which they make great heroes. They make either this big or this big, and they have names for them all, you know, after the great Italian stars, you know, Tony Bennett and the Frank Sinatra and all the rest of that, you know. They're all good, you know. That I would say, if you go in there, you want to just tell them to just go a little easy on the oil and vinegar. Sometimes some of the younger guys get carried away. I don't like my sandwich to be soaked. And I also like them to scoop the bread out, you know, so I don't have to eat as much bread. I want the cold cuts and lettuce and tomato and onions and all the rest of that stuff. The crust is what I like on the Italian bread. They have very good Italian bread there. You can buy it there. I think that in terms of Italian bread, if you buy it, you would buy it just down the block, by the way, at the Il Panifico, because you bake their own bread there. I don't think that Antonio bakes his bread. I could be wrong. So that it's good, it's great. I buy it myself when I'm in there, and I only want to make one stop. I don't find anything the matter with it, but you get such a selection down at Panifico. It's just down the block a little bit, maybe 100 yards. And if you want something special, you could really get it there. What you want to get from Antonio is they make homemade sausage. And they make it without any preservatives, and they make it every day. And they make one that's just plain, and the other they make with cheese and parsley, you know, Parmesan cheese and parsley. And I found out about this place. I had known about them when they were on 41 about 4 or 5 years ago, and then somehow they moved out of that shopping center, and I lost track of them. And I was down at the motor vehicles south of Vamo Road. This is a little local talk, you know, and I was getting my license renewed, and we got to talking about food and everything like that, and I was telling one of the ladies there who was an Italian food fan about Valenti's down in Venice, one of my other favorite restaurants, and she said, "Have you tried the sausage at Piccolo'S?" I said, "Yeah, but where are they? I've lost track of them." I said, "Well, they're up in Gulf Gate. Just go down the Gulf Gate Road there, you know, and on your right when you get the first strip of stores, there's all kinds of little stores in there. So there's some restaurants, some food stores, some jewelers, things like that you'll see in Piccolo'S. But they make their sausage, it's simply great. So when I heard that, as soon as I got my license renewed, I went down there. And even though I had liked their store 4 or 5 years before, and I lost track of them, is when I came down, I recognized, you know, some of the guys behind the counter. I said, you know, where'd you guys go? And they said, well, we had to get out of there. We moved down here. It was a little bigger. It was nicer. So if you want to get your olive oil or your pasta or your really good tomatoes or your crushed tomatoes to make your own sauce, that's the place to go. And the thing about Antonio, if you ask him if this is good, he says, well, this is good, but this is better. And he'll show you some better stuff, you know. And if it's not that good, he says, well, it's okay, but, you know, you should really get this. And he will... He'll point you. He never tries to move cheap merchandise. He might have some things that are good, but if he has something better, he'll say, this is better, this is what I use, this is what I eat, you know. And so I've come to rely on him when I want stuff. He has very good cold cuts. You know, you can have all the prosciutto you want, Sometimes he has a prosciutto from Canada, which is a little cheaper. That's a very expensive prosciutto, which is not bad at all. And he has the coppa, that's the Italian cured ham. It's like the gabagool, but it's a little finer. It comes either sweet or hot. And then, of course, all the other range of cold cuts that you want, the various salamis and things like that. He has a nice selection of olives. And in fact, when I go in, and he makes his own marinara sauce, which I think I'm a pretty good chef. I make about 4 or 5 things, and I like to say to people, I cook 4 or 5 things, but they're all great, and I rest my reputation on that as a cook. But I have never been able to really successfully make a good Italian sauce, and I grew up with a lot of Italian neighbors, and I watched their mothers. They used to hang around and look at the boiling pots, and I tried to figure out how they did it, and I asked them, and then I read all the cookbooks, and just can't do it. So what I buy is I buy a quart of their sauce, the marinara sauce, which is just plain marinara sauce. Get some of their sausage, pan fry them up, put them all together into a big container, and I have a nice sauce in terms of the sausage and tomato sauce, which you really can't beat. Let it sit for a couple of days, so then everybody gets to know each other inside the sauce. Excuse me, I'll get a little drink of water here. The heroes are great. You want a hero if you don't want to drive all the way to Mazzaro's in St. Pete, which is one of the kings of heroes, then you go to Piccolo'S, and it's right up there, and you get it to go. You eat it there. They have 4 or 5 tables. The place is always stuffed with guys who know how to eat. There's no skinny guys in the Piccolo'S. The Deli. There's women there's guys, they just know it's good food, you can tell it's good food. So they go in, they have a shopping list, and then they eat there too, That in terms of their pizza, I've never tried their pizza because I'm hooked on Magnifico. It can be very good, but I'm loyal to Magnifico. It's like it's heaven. I would never leave heaven, basically, so that I'm there. And that's not their main thing, the same thing as like a Magnifico. They don't really run a deli, they run a bakery and they run a pizzeria that's world class. And at Piccolo'S, what you get is a deli that's world class, and it's a neighborhood deli. Everybody knows everybody, it's amazing. They all have those specialties they want in their sandwiches and things like that, and they always buy the sausage and the cold cuts or the cheeses. He'll advise you on a good cheese to get. You sometimes want to get the Orecchio Provolone, which is the best. It's the hard, but it's expensive. And they say, this is pretty good. Try this. Just try a little piece, and sure enough, it's good. So he'll kind of point you in the right direction. He's very friendly. That they make big salads there that like to kill. If you like to eat the salads, I like the hoagies myself, or the heroes, submarines, whatever you want to call them. And they also make a very good cannoli. It's always fresh, made for you there. It's very tasty, as it is at Valenti's. The same thing. They make it the same at Magnifico. All of them make a great cannoli, which is the only thing to eat for dessert if you're going to have an Italian meal of any kind. And they make the little kind as well as the big kind. Things like that. And then you can pick up some stuff to go home, like some olives and some cold cuts, and so that you're eating Italian for a while. When you're home, you get a couple of loaves of bread. They'll last you for a couple of days. Like all of the fresh baked bread, it lasts a day, maybe a day and a half at most, so you have to kind of munch it down. But that's another reason to go out to the deli the next day and buy some more, and have another hero sandwich or some olives, or in fact whatever you want there. So go to Piccolo'S. It's a great place to buy your Italian food. And in terms of the deli stuff, it's not as extensive as Mazzaro's, but Mazzaro's is like the Pentagon of Italian food. If you can't get it there, it doesn't exist. But in terms of your everyday wants for the things that you need, then you just go to Piccolo'S, and they're great. He's a great guy, and his wife Josephine is just sparkling. So you always want to have a day that's filled with sunshine and good food. Just go down to Piccolo'S. In fact, I think you'll like it, and you won't go wrong with their homemade sausage and their homemade sauce. Believe me, I have a lot of it all the time.